Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is up, fight fans? It's your man, 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Bah, bah. You already know what it is. I apologize for not putting up the 11:30 time frame. I usually do in advance when we go live, since 11:30 is gonna be the thing now. But good morning, George. But I just happened to watch a video that Tyrese sent me. Shout out to Tyrese. Salute to you, King. And it was on, one of my favorite people in the boxing world, one of my favorite boxing minds, the beloved OG Leon Muhammad. And, quite frankly, we champion for Leon Muhammad on this page a lot because, like Teofimo Sr. consider himself to be a Nostradamus on some level. A lot of us happen to look at Leon like that because his boxing knowledge, he never gets it wrong. But I'm not here to defend Leon this go around. As a matter of fact, Leon, I got a lot of love for your OG, but I must, speak the truth. You said a lot of things on Shoot the Five that were kind of, I would say, more or less, ignorant. I'm not saying that you're an ignorant individual, but I would say that your stance on it was kind of ignorant, considering that you didn't even watch the fight, and considering that you don't even know all of the ins and outs of everything that took place when it came to, the Triller situation, Top Rank. It was a lot of things. You said a lot, and all blame and all finger pointing goes back to Bob Arum in this situation, which he's usually the last person I'm here to defend, but I just defend what's right, and at the end of the day, Leon, you said a lot of wrong shit. Teofimo Lopez lost that fight because Teofimo Lopez, and when you spoke on the politics of boxing, you said that this was Bob Arum, the politics of boxing, and they fucked the kid out of the title. But my whole thing is this. You said it was the Triller situation, how they moved it around, how the fight didn't happen, how they tried to, take advantage of him having COVID, saying they tried to stretch the fight out, and knowing that he couldn't make weight, which is not true. Teofimo Lopez originally wanted to take that fight in Australia, according to his father. He said it on my channel. They were supposed to get all of this money in Australia. When it turns out that, he's not as big as a draw in Triller that he thinks he is, they want to move the fight to Australia. He doesn't want to take it. So he stonewalled him there on that avenue. The fight got pushed back to the summer, at the end of the summer, I believe. And then T.O. catches COVID. All of these things happen. So the fight kept being postponed. But here's the thing. The fight never had to be on the zone. So we're not going to sit up here and act like Eddie Hearn, Lou Bella, and there's this big conspiracy where they went out of their way to try to rob this kid. Teofimo Lopez robbed himself. The politics of Teofimo Lopez is the reason why Teofimo Lopez is in this position. And I'm going to tell you why. You didn't want the money that Bob Arum was willing to put up at first because you believe that your value was more inflated than what it truly is. So you decided to do what every boxer does, right? They have that right. You went out on a purse bid. And going out on that purse bid, Triller put up an extensive amount of money. They put up a lot of money for you, more money than any promoter would. Leon, you said that Bob Arum didn't put in Top Rank, didn't even put up any money in the purse bid. You're wrong about that. They definitely put up money for the purse bid. It's just they came in third. Triller came in at a whopping like 6 million or 6.2 million. I believe Eddie Hearn and them came in around if you round it out, damn near about 4 million, and Top Rank put up like 2.3. So if anybody is to blame for the prolonged activity, if anybody is to blame for not making the weight, if anybody is to blame for losing the fight, it all falls on Teofimo. You wanted more, you wanted to bet on yourself, and all the things that you were doing and all the antics and all the shit that you were running around, all the shit that you were talking and all of the things that you and your father were running around and saying, and at the same time you were criticizing your own promotional outfit while you extended a contract after you shitted on them. So how can we sit up here on Shoot the Five and salute to Shoot the Five for holding them accountable on some level and saying that George Kambosos beat him? But I don't like how there's this level of ignorance in boxing. Every time somebody gets their ass whooped, or it's the person that isn't highly favored, we have the nerve to sit up here and act like this motherfucker got robbed by the politics. No. He got robbed by his boxing deficiencies. He got robbed by his ability to want to go out there and telegraph all of his shots. He got robbed by the fact that he wanted to go out there, be aggressive, and try to knock this man's head off in the first freaking round. And the fact that he said that they've been staying and sterilizing themselves at a weight for the past 8 years. So whose fault is it? Wherein lies the politics? Wherein lies the bullshit? Wherein lies all of the fault that falls on Bob Arum? Because Bob Arum didn't do anything but let the little baby go. He let him go do what he wanted to do, and you find out when you're not with your promotional outfit, no, it's not in anybody's interest to want to save you. What we should be focusing on in boxing is the fairness of it all. And in that situation, I still felt like George Kambosos was kind of, unfairly judged, because I don't even see how we even got to a point to where there was a 115 to 111 Teofimo's way, or why we were even at a point where it was a split decision. None of those things should have ever taken place. It was a landslide. It was a whitewash. He got beat up. It's unfortunate that we're in this climate, and somebody who has so much knowledge on the game, who doesn't even take time to even watch the fight, to speak so arrogantly, ignorantly, and be so boisterous about things that you know nothing about. And then when you just throw random things out there, nobody's deflecting it. You just said a whole bunch of wrong shit. And I ain't used to that coming from you. But if it's going to come from you, we're going to hold you accountable to it. And quite frankly, it's unfortunate. But that's where the problems in boxing, they got to stop, yo. We got to stop blaming time. Every time the person you don't want to see win, bro, it ain't the fucking politics, man. It's his ignorance. We won that fight 10 rounds to 2. Yo, go out there and get that kid out of there. You need to pick it up. What are we talking about here? To even try to entertain this bullshit and act like we need more of that type of, those type of interviews, what's wrong with it? Because there's a bunch of people who probably didn't even watch the fight, who probably don't know shit about Teofimo Lopez, who probably knows nothing about George Kambosos, who probably doesn't understand the whole ins and outs of the situation because they don't pay as closely attention to it as we do. And they would probably go ahead and run with their baseless conclusion. I can't wrap my head around this level of ignorance, man. I can't. And once again, if it was the politics, why would they rob him in his hometown? If it was the politics, why is it that Junior Lopez is saying in the same breath in which you're mentioning that Top Rank fucked him? Why is Junior Lopez saying we should have never did business with Eddie Hearn? And you're sitting there going to back for the father saying that, yo, the father don't take no shit from Top Rank. No, the father is a flip-flopping piece of shit. The father isn't a team player. The father is in this living vicariously through his son. The father is in this shit solely to see what he can benefit and what he can try to rape out the game off of the behalf of his son's blood, sweat, and tears. That's where he fell short. He fell short in the coaching. Clearly, he fell short in the management, because if Nobody in your, if everybody in your corner is agreeing with everything that you're saying, then clearly you're being told the wrong shit. That's what I'm saying, JD. Salute. Gotti, salute. It's like, how you gonna sit up there and say it was the politics? Yo, dude, you fought this man in your hometown, and it was so, like, look, dude, if Ray Charles was judging the fight, even that motherfucker could see that you were getting beat up, dude. And that's all it is. Go back to the drawing board, get your shit together, and like, yo, stop, like, just chill. Just chill. Stay away from social media for a little while, because now all of a sudden, you know, Teofimo's, you know, a saved man. He's a changed man. He has a new leash on life. It's all about God, and he's in the best place of his life right now. He's a fucking liar. Like, dude, I went back and I watched so many videos the other day that were pertaining to leading up to this fight, the build up of this fight, all of the things that, you know, were surrounding this fight. And the one thing that was a constant out of every conversation, out of every interview, was, as much as we think that Senior is just all the way delusional and his brain is scrambled eggs, Teofimo Lopez's brain is scrambled eggs as well. Like, this dude ego was so freaking big. Like, now after you watch the fight and you go back and listen to everything that he's saying, it's almost like, dude, you definitely deserve to get your ass kicked. You definitely deserve it. And if you really go back and look at it after the post conference, after all of the things that are being said, and you go back and watch this stuff, you're honestly going to have more of a disdain for Teofimo Lopez. Real shit. Twins, did you also see the boxing social clip of Teo saying he gave Crawford and Porter the big... Yo! Oh my God! Yes! I did see it. This motherfucker said, I gave Terrence Crawford and I gave Sean Porter their biggest payday. Now, how the fuck did you do that? You don't even garner the type of pays that Terrence Crawford get. Like, bro, we ain't even, like, look. Did you, and not only that, you got his father out here saying, now we're not going to be able to say that we're better than Floyd Mayweather. At no point in your life, at no point in your career, at no point in your fucking level of boxing IQ would you ever be able to say you better than Floyd Mayweather. Never in life. Never in life. I'm just sick of the goofball shit. Like, these dudes, like, yo, they got Deontay Wilder beat by a country mile. I must admit it. So and saying that shit, it's just like, okay, so I'm going to have to do you in the same way in which I did Deontay Wilder. This is the truth. This is the truth of the matter. I got to do you the same way because you're worse than Wilder. You're literally worse than Wilder. Wilder had one belt. That shit blew his whole head up. You had three. You had three in a possible, like a game of goddamn spades. And you just went, yo, he's gone, bro. He's gone. And when you have somebody who can't identify with the losses, can't identify with the weaknesses, how is he going to come back? Why are people saying this kid's a star? Why are people saying this kid's the biggest draw in boxing? Why is he talking about that, you know, that they greater than Floyd Mayweather? Dude, like, I'm lost, man. I'm sipping some tea on that shit. Boxing God was gutty. Tio was calling himself Kodo 2.0. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. He'll never had a run Kodo had. He'll never had a run Kodo had. You know, like you fumbled that early. You fumbled that early. Kodo was a real threat out here and really willing to fight anybody. Straight dog. Got the world championships, got the accolades to prove it. What the fuck have you done so far? You fought Lomachenko and thought that you like literally made it. All the red carpet should have been rolled out, you know, the camera should have been flashing, paparazzi should have been on deck everywhere you go. No, sir. No, sir. That's when the work just stops. That's why, you know, I emphasize so much on this. It's like, I don't know why when these dudes think that they win a belt, that's when it's time to kick your feet up. This is when, like, once you win the title, that's when the work just begins, because now everybody wants your motherfucking scalp. Are you kidding me? Chin Smoke, salute. Lopez called Wilder a bitch for making excuses. So what does that make him? Straight up girly mouth? A girly mouth whore? That's why I call that man Teofimo Lopez, man. James Jameson, salute. How you feeling, brother? I think it's Junior not knowing how to be and idolizing his dad. He just imitates because he lacks any genuine construct of himself. But the crazy thing is, he runs around out here and says that he's the realest thing in boxing or whatever. And it's just like, it's hard to distinguish. Like, nobody, he always says that the boxing world, us included, aren't able to distinguish the real and the fake in boxing. Devin Haney's a fake and he's supposed to be the real. Well, all you've done is just show to us that you're really fake and you're really not dedicated. And all of the things that you said you were going to do with your campaign at 135, you didn't even begin to take 1 foot off the porch and get it done. It's just, it's crazy. Like, this is literally about to come into a month of me dragging the shit out Teofimo Lopez. And I'm already working on the videos now. I got so much material, like my brain is on overload. Like, it's just like, cause you find one thing and then you find something else that's more impactful than the last thing that you fought. It's just like, I'm fucking having trouble just knowing where to start. I got like 4 videos right now being edited and shit. And all of them are just as impactful as the other, and everything's got to play out a certain way. But it's just like, no matter where you start, I don't even know where basically to start, because all of it is so freaking like out of this world delusional. It's insane to me. Shout out to Slide Tendencies with the super chat. He says, what do you think T.O. did wrong as far as game plan? I love your breakdowns, and when you talk the strategy, George beat T.O. the way T.O. beat Loma. Well, honestly, I don't even think that they necessarily had a game plan. I feel as though that they truly went out here thinking that they were going to go out. They went out here and they based their game plan off of the ear hustling of the boxing world. Basically, what I'm saying is everybody said he should starch this kid in 1-4, so he assumed that he was going to get it done in that way as well. His father was supposed to be the one watching the tape, making sure he understands what's going on with his opponent, formulating the game plan based on that behalf, seeing his tendencies in other fights, understanding who his son is, putting himself in George Kambosos' shoes so he could understand if he was George Kambosos, how would he have gone about fighting the Teofimo Lopez? I don't think they ever did that. I don't think they ever watched tape on Kambosos. I don't think that they ever even took this guy serious. I truly believe that Junior Lopez already looked at this guy like he was too inferior, too small, going split decisions with Lee Selby, not even being able to drop him in some way, shape, or form was going to be the deciding factor on all of the reasons why he should steamroll this kid. He probably, valued him less than Comey, damn sure probably valued him less than Nakatani and all of the other individuals. So at the end of the day, his game plan should have been, because I always say that Teofimo Lopez is one-dimensional. That's why I always say that Devin beats him, because it comes down to the boxing. And it all boiled down to the fact that Teofimo Lopez, if you're gonna have to walk down George Kambosos, you're gonna have to do it. You can't overextend yourself. You gotta wait till you get close enough. If with the type of fighting style that Teofimo Lopez has, he has to be more patient. He has to understand that, look, either one, he's gonna have to bring it to you because you're the champion, catch and shoot, or when you're walking them down, cutting down the ring, you got to use that jab. You got to double up on it. You got to level change with it. And most of the fight, Teofimo Lopez was mid to long range trying to start launching his attack. And that's a big majority of what got him in trouble, because he was just swinging from the fences in positions that he had no business trying to look to mount an offense. And on top of that, he's not an offensive fighter who just gets going on the front foot. He does everything based off of the back foot and somebody walking into what he wants him to walk into. So when you get to see Teofimo Lopez have to exert that type of offensive energy, you don't get to see that type of, the IQ isn't there because he's never had that ability to fight that way anyway, getting out and getting right at it. He's always had to wait on it. And considering how immature he is and considering how much he just abandoned game plan, it just shows me that you don't even have the ability to even operate as a Philly shell counter fighter because you're not poised enough. And as soon as somebody touches you and you get a couple rounds out the way, you just fall apart. So I just think that it came down to a combination of overconfidence and a lack of preparation, because it should have been as easy as him just cutting off the ring or understanding that you're the champion, making him come to you and playing a good game of catch and shoot, rolling off of him, countering, hitting him with the body shot, filling the basement up with water, and then coming upstairs and then catching him with the knockout. Because eventually the shot would have came. It would have came if he would have just used his jab, stayed patient, and kept the fight close. He didn't do that. So unfortunately, George Kambosos came out there with a level of boxing ability that rivals the flat-footed lack of preparation that Teofimo Lopez has. I just don't. I don't understand. I don't understand how you get yourself in that position and then you blame the whole world for it. I just don't. And then we're supposed to recognize you as a true champion. You're on Twitter saying that you got everything that you want right now. Really, you don't. You never had everything that you want. You were chasing it. And now you're in a position to where you might not ever get it. Now, is a fighter's career supposed to be defined off of a loss? Absolutely not. But when it's defined off of situations to where you don't even have a title contingency plan, you can't. It's not like you can go back into it and get it. He was your mandatory. He basically came in, upset the apple cart, took all of the belts back to Australia, and doesn't even have to entertain you anymore. And he's so confident in beating him a second time. He said, "Let's do it over in Australia." As soon as the fight was over, he was more than welcome to rematch. That's how confident he is in beating him, because he's like, realistically, can this kid come back to 135? He don't even want to come back to 135. That's why I said he need to go back to the drawing board. He know he can't make that shit. He kept enough in the tank to do a backflip after the fight like all champions do. That's a fact. Plus, not running it back is weak on Lopez's part. My man, yeah, James, it exposed a lot of the elements in which people had their antennas up when it came to the second half of the fight. Because we sitting there, we like, oh shit, okay. Earlier, that didn't look like the Lomachenko that I'm used to, but now, as I'm looking at it and I'm visualizing everything that's going on as we getting into the later rounds, okay, he's getting into it. All right, it took him a little while, but he had to get past the initial punch. It seemed like it might have been, but after that, if he wouldn't have closed out round 12, the way he closed out round 12, that fight should have ended up, that fight could have went to Lomachenko. Or to me, if he didn't close out round 12 the way he closed out round 12, that shit should have ended up in a draw. Like when people are interested in revisiting those defining, pressured moments in their career, like Teofimo versus Loma, and that's something that the whole world wants to see. Look, here's the thing. Here's one thing we know about boxing, right or wrong, because we all fans, correct? Nobody is jockeying to see a fight if they didn't feel like, you didn't show areas of deficiency where there is definitely a case to be made that he needs to come back and do it again. Because if you wash them, nobody would be asking for it. Because one thing about boxing is it is a business at the end of the day. And once you outclass somebody to the point to where you beat the brakes off of them, nobody's going to ask to see that shit again if that's the case. But clearly that wasn't the case. And that's why he didn't want to go back there. And then another thing is, like, That weight would have destroyed him against Lomachenko the second time. Lomachenko would have been so ready. He would have came out that joint like, he would have came out like, fuck your power. I can just outbox you and beat you. And I'm gonna start on the first. I'm gonna start from the first round, and I'm gonna work you till I drop you. Shout out to CM10. He says Tio fucked the money up by not taking this fight seriously. He did. He did. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like the basics of boxing will save you from so much other bullshit, especially when you're gifted, or we consider you to be gifted. If you just get behind the basics, half of the things that he was going through, he wouldn't have had to go through that night. And at the end of the day, poise is everything. The flustered fighter is the fighter who's always overextending himself, the fighter that's going to gas himself out, the fighter that doesn't have his breathing intact, the fighter that's abandoning what his footwork might look like, the fighter that's abandoning moving laterally so he can avoid shots instead of coming down straight down the pipe and getting caught with a big shot. You know, that you're not necessarily trying to tuck your chin, roll off of punches. You're not looking for punches to counter off of, because you are so focused on, I gotta get this guy, I gotta get this guy, I gotta get this guy. Like, dude, doesn't matter who you are, you have to let the KO present itself to you. Absolutely. And you know, like, I don't care if you got a guy who's fucking 5-15 rolling up in that joint to fight you, bro. If you just go out there and think you just gonna wing and take his head off, you're going to get clipped. That's the thing about boxing. It ain't like boxing, ain't like football and nothing else, bro. Like, one punch from anyone will completely change the entire trajectory of your career, and the trails just blaze for you. So, like, I've never understood after all of the fights we've done witness, all of the upsets, all of the people who've upset the apple cart before. I don't know how people don't understand, like, yo, the one thing that you never do is underestimate your opponent, especially the person. Because, like, look, man, once you got the straps, your head is, these motherfuckers want your head on pig stick. Everybody's looking to get you. So you got to stay hyper vigilant. You got to stay ready for everybody. Not one person. Your focus can't be one champion. It better be all of them damn challenges in the top 15. And then you better be looking in the top 25 to see who coming up too, to see who you going to end up eventually having to deal with, because everybody's coming. When he said they kept me drained at this weight for years, did he mean his own team or the fighters he can't beat at 140? I think that he stayed at 135 because of the intimidation factor of the fighters at 140. You know, like, look, like, if you're the marketable guy, there ain't no fight that you can't get. Now, why did Teofimo never go out of his way to make the biggest fights at 100 and 135 pounds? Because I know what them dudes did. They looked at Lomachenko's size. They looked at the fact that they knew that they never needed to be at 100 and they never really were 135-pound fighters, and they probably looked at it like this: yo, he's gonna come out in the first. If we see him the first time, we can catch him off guard with the banana in the tailpipe. Because initially, Loma, you know, starting off his career at feather, you know, he's gonna start off slow. He's a smaller guy, so he's gonna start off apprehensive about the power. We're not gonna sit up here and act like Loma gonna think his power is a fluke. So, you know, that was the perfect way to catch Lomachenko off guard. Because he had to worry about the power. He had to worry about going in there and getting caught with some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you took advantage of that, being a bigger guy, and bully tactics. And I'm sure they figured bully tactics was going to prevail. But when it came to fighting Devin and other dudes, them motherfuckers wasn't interested. They wasn't interested. And like, yo, these dudes lie so much. They lie so much. Like, yo, they the two queens of boxing, man. Him and his fucking father, man. DM3 ENT, what it do? T.O. father fucked him up. Man, like, T.O. father fucked him up. T.O. fucked himself up. Like, it's a collective, bro. Like I said, if you just go back and just pay attention to everything them dudes was doing, my guys, like, yo, them dudes fucked themselves, man. They went out of their way to fuck themselves over. I'm not against a strategy like a first round KO, but you got to have a plan B, C, D. A real champion isn't a one trick pony. Norman Johansson beat Floyd P with a tricky right hand, and that's all he had. And see, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Where's your plan B? Okay, it's like you just said. It's nothing wrong with going out and trying to get the knockout in the first round. But once you realize that it's not coming and you're dealing with something different, yo, you got to back up off of it. And, you know, George Kambosos' father even said it, because I even had the idea that he was going to try to go out and do the same thing because he looked big. And I mean, he looked very unnaturally big for that weight. And you know that shit was going to take a toll on him on the second half of the fight. So he went out there and tried to blitz him with everything that he fucking had. So, you know, he didn't want to get to the point where his power waned in the second half of the fight. Well, that happened. And we learned that Kambosos has a motherfucking beard. And we also learned that he said you can't punch. He wasn't affected by your punch. And clearly there has to be some truth to that, because he sat in the pocket and punched with you while you was nailing him. He was nailing the fuck out you too. And honestly, it seemed like you were a little bit more visibly shook than anybody. You got referees holding you up and all of that. Tio has tools, but he became a tool on fight night. Man, look, the kid definitely's got, I'll never say the kid don't have talent, but the type of fighter he is, man, he needs to be more in tune with Philly style fighters. Like you need to get in tune. You need to get over there with like Bozzy Ennis, Cool Boy Steph, Bernard Hopkins, guys like that, guys who really like operate, you know what I'm saying, operate the shoulder roll, operate off being counter responsible, the Tevin Farmers of the world, guys like that. Really work over there with them, because that's what type of fighter you present yourself as. And it's like, yo, it's almost pathetic when you watch a guy who don't really know the Philly like that, and he's trying to shoulder roll and he's scooting in, like that shoulder roll scooting in shit. Like, bro, like, man, fuck that. Use the shoulder when it's going to benefit you on the counter. But man, walk that man down. Like, come on, bro, what are you doing? I believe T.O. can come back a much better fighter, but he has to rid himself of the fall of the ego and the delusions must. And hey, look, man, it always goes back to the same shit that I was saying about Deontay, so I ain't even gonna give Teofimo the benefit of the doubt. It's like when you come out of the fight and you're not gonna allow yourself to believe anything but what you want to believe and what your father's telling you, and then the outcome will still be the same. It'll still be the same. And it's going to be much more devastating. They could have fucked him up a lot worse at 140 pounds. Because there's a lot of guys at 140 pounds that do pack a whop. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if he fought like how y'all think he would fare against like a Jose Cepeda? You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to think of shit like that. Like, really, how does this dude look against a guy like Jose Cepeda, who can punch, who can move around the ring, who has an IQ, who will take it to you, who has the ability to see your shots as they come and formulate his offense off your defense, or formulate his offense just off being offensively sound? It's like, you know, Teofimo, like, yo, they got some crackers over there. That just sounded so racist. I meant crackers like the niggas can crack. They got some dudes that really got some thump behind their gloves at 140 pounds. Some really talented guys over on the top rank side of the street. And they got all of the metal over there. So it's just like, bro, if you think that, you know, you just going to jump out in February and then it's just going straight into Josh Taylor, okay, cool. I want you to do all of that shit, because you're going to be eating an even bigger piece of humble pie. And if you thought George Kambosos hurt you, Josh Taylor going to kill you. Like it's a lot to be said, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to put more on George Kambosos than what George Kambosos is at the same time. And I'm not going to put. So with that being said, it's just like, bro, there are major levels above George, higher IQs, faster, stronger, better punch placement. Put they punches together way better traps and setups, better footwork, punching straight out the pivot shit. There's a lot of guys who doing that at 140. And it's just like, yo, okay, if Kambosos made it look like that, then what are those guys going to make it look like? Because I think that Zepeda could do a guy like Teofimo a lot of harm. His gas tank is far from in peak position, and he just seemed a little too bulky, man. He carrying a lot of bulk in the arms and the shoulders and the pectorals. He carrying a lot of bulk up there. Bob would have known if Loma was really injured. Team Teo only care about money. Why didn't they take a massive payday for the rematch on pay-per-view? They didn't take that massive payday or that rematch on pay-per-view because they knew the outcome of the rematch and why even put themselves, and they didn't want to put themselves in that position. See, the one thing about these dudes are, you know what I'm saying, they like to vocalize themselves like the elephant in the room. And we know why that is. They really weak for real. They mentally weak and they physically weak too. Like, I can see it. I don't care what you do in your profession. Like, okay, yeah, you live your livelihood as a boxer. That shit don't mean shit to me. That shit don't pump no fear in my heart. You a sucker, you a sucker. And Teofimo, he's just, him and his father, they suckers, man. And they don't have, I just don't think that they had the mental fortitude nor the type of characteristics that's going to carry them far in this game no more, man. I think they burned out. I think they flew too close to the sun with wax wings on, and now they crashed out. And I think that as they continue to move and evolve and weight and size and whatever, and moving through these weight classes, it's like, dude, the talent pool don't get weaker; it gets stronger. So, and they hitting harder. And I just think that there's more. I don't think that we. And this isn't, and I don't want you guys to take this as me wishing bad on them, but this is hypothetically and truly how I feel. And I've always stood by telling y'all this shit. I think that it truly gets worse for Teofimo from here on out. Because now you're going to want to put your foot on the gas and try to get back in that position, and you don't feel like there's no reason why you shouldn't be in this position. And that's going to be the thing that's going to hinder your success. And to be perfectly honest, that he can find success in his near and distant future, but it has to be based on his actions and what is he going to do from here. It's like, yo, is your father going to still be there? Are you going to identify with the fact that your father, sold you a dream and you bought it? What is it going to be? So we got to wait and see all of these things to play out to see if this kid even realistically is going to have a chance in the future. Because if not, he's just going to be another nigga gatekeeper. For real, because now it's like, yo, when lions and sharks, like when they smell blood, they coming to get it from miles away. So it's a lot of blood. It's a lot of blood in the water around T.O. He leaking a lot of blood to a lot of his opposition where they sitting there looking at him like, oh my God. Like, yo, I would have rather it be me. But thank you, George. You just revealed, all of the shit that they taught. You just revealed what we've all known in all of our sparring sessions, what we've all known. We've been dealing with these delusional fuckers, for the entirety. We've been coming up boxing in the amateurs all the way to the pros with these dudes. And it's just like, that's why I just want people to identify more with skill set and then don't get carried away. Don't get carried away with the first, half decent victory or the first, or becoming a title holder, because we don't even really consider champions champs until they defend for real. And his first defense was what? A dud. Well, he unified his second fight. So yeah, he's really a champion. But when it became them unified titles though, we know what happened. How he going to deny that vagina on his forehead? That's a 10-2. Yo, just his eye alone. Just his eye alone, like, yo, how the fuck are you even talking about? This is a 10-2 situation. Like, bro, your eyes say 10-2 Cambosis. Like, my dude, if this is what you look like, bro, like the usual response when you get your ass whipped is like, man, or when somebody trying to like soften the blow, it's like, man, I hate to see what the other guy look like. Like, nah, that nigga's at the club right now. Like, he might really be at the club right now. What I'm hating right now is they say George is undisputed. I wish they stop with that foolishness, and I hope Devin beats him so that we can have a real undisputed. See, this is the thing, man. I feel like the promoters just gonna promote Cambosis, and I feel like they gonna sit up there, they gonna say that shit. But at the end of the day, George Cambosis know he's not an undisputed fighter because, like I said, man, Teofimo took a designation, man. It was a franchise champion. When he fought Lomachenko wasn't the WBC world champion. Lomachenko had a designation as a franchise champion. They didn't even have a real belt to get at nigga for real, for real. And they didn't have a belt that could exchange hands, but the whole time, Teofimo Sr. and Jr., they behind the scenes trying to finesse a way to where they can make it to where it exchange hands. So it's kind of like, we want to change definitions of what certain things are on the fly to fit our narratives at that time. But at the end of the day, I recognize the world champion. I don't recognize designations. So, when you took yourself up out of that running and you knew what Lomachenko did, and your father said that he completely understood why he did it, and it's a concept that he could really get behind. He was saying that because he wanted to be protected by the so-called rules that are beneficiary, to that fighter who is holding that franchise designation. So he just, like, Cambosis, he got to see Devin. Like, man, for real, if these dudes keep going around avoiding Devin, like, at the end of the day, like, look, man, nobody's gonna be able to criticize this dude to me, man, because I don't know what else he could do at this point. Shit, JoJo Diaz, that motherfucker shucked and jived and dragged his whole goddamn feet on signing that contract for real. He didn't even want to fight Devin for real when he was, and then when Ryan backed up out of the shit, he got backed up into a corner and he ain't had no fucking choice for real. Like, these dudes, when it comes to like the best available opponents and people that, should be lining up and stuff like that, it just seemed like when it comes to that motherfucker over there, like, niggas turn into L's. Who? Lopez, he has to get rid of his dad because his dad gonna get him hurt. Yeah, his dad gonna get him hurt, and Teofimo Jr. is gonna get motherfuckers who really want to hurt him. And like, yo, if I was a professional boxer and I was, campaigning in that weight class, like, bro, I'm pushing up on him every day because I genuinely wouldn't like him. We're gonna have headlines every day, Jack. Because I'm pushing up on him. I'm mushing his Favre. I'm mushing him. Like, I really wouldn't like that dude. Like, and I wouldn't like that dude based off because I'm a strong believer in character, bruh. And I don't do the whole, you know what I'm saying, this world and then the real world shit. I follow the same code applies to everything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't bend or I don't break. So I really want to, pressure that dude a lot because I really feel like he's a sucker. I really feel like Teofimo Lopez is a 100% sucker. And I feel like people try to give him so much credit to like stay up off of him and stuff and like coddle this dude. But when he showed nothing but bitch asses. Reasons program will stop T.O. Taylor as well. Delusional Lopez and Pops don't have a chance. Both are limited at their craft. Yeah, man, like he wouldn't fight Regis, man. Like, them dudes, man, look, for real, I'm telling you, bruh. He better make sure, like, look, man, when he goes back to Top Rank, here's another thing that I haven't said too. T.O. really better watch his mouth, yo. He better watch the things he says in the other promotional camps that he tries to shit on. And what I mean by that is, yo, there's a chance that you could come back to Top Rank right now. And I mean, them boys just got Keyshawn Davis. They just got the other Olympian light heavyweight dude, I think. Can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But they just got some real good signings over there, man. They got a Newey, they got Taylor, they got a lot of shit over there. He better hope that when he goes back over the top rank, that them motherfuckers just don't give him his walking papers, because he don't have nothing to offer top rank right now. And he think that he's such a significant draw, but he's never been a significant draw. I think that his draw is always going to be based off of the opponents that he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? And I think like collectively, all of those guys present a pretty nice draw when it comes with one another. But increasingly, yet and still, that we're not getting all of the fights that we want to see. Man, people ain't rushing to spend their money on pay-per-view no more and shit like that. We just saw what happened with Crawford and Porter. And I overestimated like what that shit would do. Like, so at the end of the day, like Teofimo, you ain't no Terrence Crawford. You not. You ain't even no Sean Porter yet. And I don't think like, yo, you don't have nothing to bring to the table to legitimize yourself no more, dog. Like, it's just gonna be the former. Tio has a long way to redemption, in my opinion. He got outboxed, which is more psychologically damaging for ego. For egos, like, for like Tio, absolutely, man. It's one thing for you to get stopped, because when you get stopped, whether it coming through the first 1 through 7 rounds, you just like, okay, or even in the later rounds, you're like, all right, well, I know that, you know what I'm saying, I reasonably feel like there are 5 or 6 of those rounds that I was really doing my thing and I gave that shit away by just getting clipped. Now I understand, you know what I'm saying, people being able to process, digest that a lot easier and coming back and, you know what I mean, melting they comeback based off of that. But when a dude just goes out that joint, owns you, punches you, drops you, beats you, cuts you on both eyes, like talking shit to you round by round, got you quiet in the ring, got you apprehensive, controlling the center of the ring, walking you down, standing in the pocket with you, doing all of the things that, you know what I'm saying, that like basically if this was based on some science shit, he's doing all of this shit that defies, like, you know what I'm saying, like the fans like laws of gravity, bro. Like we were all computing that it would go this way, and he completely defied and switched all of that shit and threw all of that on his head. So when you see a person go through all of those things, bro, yeah, it's gonna be way harder to come back. And that level of invincibility, that is the takeover, all of those things like go out the window, Jack. That shit goes out the window. So yeah, man, like for real. And the tougher you try to sing and try to measure yourself, or you try to worry about how you looking in front of people after you go suffer a devastating defeat or whatever, and as prideful as you acting, like that shit comes off. It comes off weaker than you just being humble and meek, bro. Javi Salute, what's popping with you, brother? Toby Bartlett, what's going on, Brody? Young fighters or want to be one fight legends. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, man. Because a lot of these guys, man, they want to go out here and fight okay guys, fight like, you know, top 25, like, you know, guys ranked 20 to 15 or whatever, or sit around and buzz and fight a bunch of bums that nobody knows of, get showcase knockouts, and then jump in the ring with a champion and then hope that, you know, they talent, you know, weighs out and the politics get in the way if it goes to a split decision and they rob people or whatever the case may be. Nah, I feel like, you know, one thing that makes a fighter great is it ain't the fact that you got an O on your record. Because I feel like all of the greatest fighters, man, all of the greatest fighters, it's almost impossible for you to make it through your career with an O. Like you're gonna take one L, maybe two, maybe three. And I feel like that's a normal thing for the greatest fighters that ever walked the face of this earth. Because if you're one of the greatest fighters that ever walked the face of the earth, it's impossible for you not to take one. Because you're going up against so many fucking killers, dude. It's so much talent that's just like, yo, fuck your country. I'm like, yo, your country alone got hella talent. But damn, then you want to translate the whole world and all of its styles as well. Like, man, like, yo, it's smarter for you to go ahead and like, that's why fighters in the old days, they would fight fight guys that's ranked real high, and they would keep chipping down. You would chip down the rankings. Like you don't fight a guy that's ranked like, okay, like in Ryan Garcia's case. You don't fight a guy like Romero Dunno, who's ranked like number 34 in the world, and fight a Fah Fah and then jump down and then fight a Luke Campbell and then think you're not gonna face no level of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta climb that shit. And you got to keep consistent levels of opposition because every fighter is going to present something different to you, whether it's stylistically, whether whether it's just a fucking wind tank. It's a lot of different elements, man, that drag you through the ring, or once that bell ring, and you got to be able to have that experience, and experience comes through level of opposition and time spent in the ring for real. And like these dudes don't do that. I don't see a level of consistency in their patterns. Well, Tio, you were saying a certain level of consistency in his pattern, but he thought too much of himself. Tim, what's popping with you, bro? Tio, old man, did that to him. He's a hype man, not a trainer. Hey, man, once again, I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? One hand wash the other, both hands wash the face for real. And both of those dudes are equally responsible for, the dirt that they got on their hands right now. Teofimo, like, I don't think anybody in here who's ever been in a fight, who's ever sparred, who's ever boxed or anything like that, if you're getting hit in your face way more than the other guy, it pisses you the fuck off. And you want to hit him more. And you want to get to him even, and it's hard for you to compose yourself. And you want to get to that motherfucker as bad as you can, because clearly you can feel when you're getting punched and you don't like it. Whether you can take it or not is not the point that I'm trying to that I'm emphasizing on here. It's the fact that if you getting touched up. So regardless of if your father is telling you some janky ass shit and it's janky because you sitting in the ring, maybe it should be like, man, I gotta switch up and do something different. Because in a lot of cases, trainer boxer relationships, high IQ fighters, when they coach is telling them one thing and they see something switch in the ring, they will abandon what the coach is talking about and go to their plan B or whatever they visualizing at that time. Because it's just like, nah, I don't think he's seeing it how I'm seeing it. Or if he's saying something crazy, it's just like, yo, I ain't even listening to this nigga. I'm listening to the number 2 in my ear. Like, fuck that. It'll be interesting to see how many live streams he goes on bragging about Tio and saying other fighters are ducking him. Who gonna be doing that? Oh shit. That dude's Junior's a live stream whore, bro. Like I've never seen a guy his age so interested in being on everybody live stream. I'm like, yo, how much time did this dude have? How much time this dude had? You got a world champion fighter and you always on here. It's funny that Junior Lopez entertains more boxing channels than his son does. Don't you find that odd? Tio spends months crashing top rank. It's going to be really interesting. It really is, JD, and I'm really waiting to see how all this shit pan out. Because one thing I know about Bob, man, Bob don't play, man. It's business. It's never personal, and that motherfucker will drop you. And he will give you everything you're asking for. He will shelf the fuck out you, too. And he don't got no problem throwing you in there with somebody who will work the fuck out your ass, too. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, it's a reason why promotional outfits move the way they move right now in the climate in which boxing is in, especially when it comes to those world titles. Yo, world titles are fucking leverage, dude. They are leverage. And once you lose that leverage, it's like, bro, like you're losing a portion of power. And Teofimo gave away 75% of the power in the division. 75% of the power in the division gone. You just gave it away to another promotional outfit. Now ask them how hard it's going to be for them to get that shit back. We all know in this day and age in boxing how hard it is to get them motherfuckers back once they scurry off to certain sides of the boxing world. just to say how humble Josh Taylor is. He has a better resume than a lot of fighters and don't yell for pay-per-view fights at all. Man, that's like, look, man, when a dude is the goods, man, and he walk it how he talk it, man, like, yo, there's nothing I do other than defend them dudes, man. Like a guy like Josh Taylor, a guy like Bud Crawford, Anthony Joshua, Usyk, individuals like that, MJ Akhmadaliev. I've always made sure that I protect those dudes in a sense, or try to protect their image on my channel in a sense to where it's just like, yo, these dudes are the real fucking thing, and they don't toot their own horn like that. And they go out and put in the work. But y'all praising these loudmouth motherfuckers who really don't got skill sets like that. And then y'all find out real quick that they're gonna break your fucking heart, man. They're gonna break your heart. Like, yo, stop fanboying out and look at these dudes for what they really are. Unproven. And then he slagged off the zone and Eddie Hearn after this fight when they saved the day for him. For real, his second, if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn, he wouldn't have got the payday he got. Like, isn't it like we gotta look at the pattern here. If it goes from the shit with Triller don't work out and they put up $6 million, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure y'all would just as well as myself. We're gonna do whatever the fuck to make that $6 million work out. If we gotta go to Australia, we going to Australia. Motherfucker, we gotta resurrect the ring in Antarctica. We gonna fight in Antarctica, goddammit. But we gonna bring that $6 million back. Then it drops down, and then you blame Eddie, and then Eddie been trying to motherfucking help you, been trying to save you, and then you over there, yo, you might need him. Like, listen, man, I don't know too many fighters that started off with one promotion and end up staying at that one promotion their whole career. I don't know any at all, for real. I don't know one motherfucker who ever been that happy. I really didn't think that Cam would be able to keep Fimo off of him and would eventually get caught. That dude not only outboxed him, but he outfought him as well. I was totally wrong. Bro, we all were. We all were. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beautiful part about boxing. The fact that we can get it wrong, bruh. The fact that we can get it wrong. I don't want to be right. Like, I don't want, yo, I never want to see a lopsided fight in my life. Lopsided fights, okay, they good for highlight reels, but they not great for fucking, you know what I'm saying? They're not great for fan attendance in most situations. Motherfuckers like to see you go through adversity. Motherfuckers like to see you fight uphill battles and have to really, really dig and claw tooth and nail to come out with that victory, bro. That's the one thing that make boxing fucking so dope. So when I see George Kambosos all the way upset the apple cart, congratulations, bro. Congratulations to you, because I didn't want what the fuck we all thought it was going to be. For real, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I damn sure don't give a fuck about what. I don't give a fuck about what happens to Tio. I really don't give a fuck about what happens to George. Either one of them, in a sense, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? I hope both of them come out with all their faculties, and they able to go home to their families healthy. Absolutely. But when it comes down to wins and losses, I don't give a fuck if either one of them win or lose. You know, I'm paying attention to the business aspect of it, but when it comes down to just straight up the fighting side of things, like, bro, I'm not champion for either one of y'all niggas. I just want a good fight. That's it. And I want the ability to sit up there and say, sometimes, you know, we can have moments in boxing where we get that really big, oh, shit. And this was one of those, oh, shit, he did it like that? Like, that's everything the sport needs, for real. Because that's the only way, you know what I'm saying? That's I feel like that elevates it. I feel like that's what makes the sports better. I don't like whitewashers, like, for real. I really don't. Now, if you that fucking good and anybody you run across, you just belt the shit out their ass, hey, that's on you. But I mean, hey, man, I would like for it to more be when motherfuckers meet up, we can have like a kind of like a neck and neck kind of balance to where it's like, yo, this shit, however it's gonna go, it's gonna be a tug of war, bro. Tio looked lost and embarrassed in the corner after a lot of the rounds. He really did, man, and you could tell that he was a fish out of water, man. He just didn't know what to do. Whole time his daddy talking to him, I don't even think Tio was really there to really hear it. I don't think they really put enough into Tio as far as, trying to like revitalize his condition. Like, because he was getting belted with a lot of shit. And every time he went to the corner, I don't feel like, his father came in with a sense of urgency, like, yo, my son is getting swelled up a lot. We need to add more cold compress to his face. I didn't really see anything like that. Like I didn't see him trying to, shock him back when he was getting dazed because his father was too egotistical. He never felt like he got dazed. When he got dropped, he felt like it was a flash knockdown. He said that, he asked T.O. if he was good, but he didn't. He said, what are you doing? Why ain't you knock this? He's like, get out there and knock the dude out, basically. You weren't focused on your son's well-being. You were looking past the deficiencies and all of the issues that y'all were having that night, and you were solely focused on what you felt as though should have been going on. Well, motherfucker, life don't work like that. It's not like, you can just grab two fucking knobs and just play with life and you can just make shit the way you want it to be. Nah, motherfucker, that shit plays out. It's gonna play. It don't play out in your favor. You gotta turn the odds on his head for real. When shit not working in your favor, you gotta readjust that shit and make it right. And his father is at fault because he never readjusted on the fly and made the shit right. You told him he had every round. You told Radio Raheem, you told the whole world that y'all beat this guy 10-2. Man, there was nothing that we could do if we could fucking go back to that weekend, to last Saturday. There was nothing that we could fucking do that would ever change that outcome. I don't give a fuck. I just can't see it because the attitudes, there was no other way that anything could happen other than Teofimo losing that fight. Because the attitude, man, in the corner, man, the lack of adjustments, man, and it's a lot of people that, feel kind of been out of shape. And for Leon, once again, to sit up there and say it was the politics and Bob Arum getting in the way, why the fuck would Bob Arum want to forfeit fucking 75% of the Infinity Stones at 135 pounds to forego them shits to goddamn to Ludabella and Cambosis when Ludabella don't have no problem with working with Eddie Hearn, when Eddie Hearn is more flexible to working with Lou and his fighters and putting them on these DAZN cards. Man, look, motherfucker, like Cam, I'm sorry, but Cambosis Haney is in no way as sensational as a fight as Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney and all of the build-up that was being worked on the front end recently. Like it don't add up. Like, bro, there's been a story that was being built consistently throughout the entirety of this fucking year when it came with these two. And not even to mention the year before that. So why the fuck would he go out his way to fuck that up, take belts out of his fucking fighter hand, and ultimately take money out of his goddamn pockets? That shit makes no sense. But I guarantee Devin Haney's sitting back like, look, hey, DHP, Devin Haney Promotions already on the phone like, look, hey, man, look, whenever you get yourself together, bro, we're more than willing to go over to Australia. We are more than willing to come over to Australia. You tell me what you want to do. I'll be there. Bob will give T.O. an option. It's either Loma or Barbosa at 140. Either way, it don't look good for him. Either way, it don't look good for him. And the thing about it is, like, I would have to say that just boils down to take it or leave it. Because really, Teofimo don't have no leverage. He's gonna take it or leave it kind of a situation for real. And I don't know if Bob Arum's gonna look at the contract extension and the money that they already offered T.O. and they did the renegotiation. I don't know if that shit's worth it to him anymore, not having a world champion in the stable. I just don't know, man. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? These are just the facts of life of the situation. And we're not dealing with normal characters here. We're not dealing with normal champions. We're not dealing with normal individuals. We dealing with some really, really motherfucking scrambled eggs for brains having ass type dudes, man. And like, look, I just want this to be said, and I just want to make sure that I say this on Reaper Gang Radio. I in no way, shape, or form hate Teofimo or I hate Teofimo's father. I had a lot of respect for those two, but at the same time, I lost a lot of respect for him too. I definitely, this is just all boxing talk, and at the end of the day, the shit that I say, I stand on it just like they stand on whatever they say. So, it ain't no hard feelings. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, the world just has to be harsh on you right now because I make it a point to let y'all know if we put Deontay Wilder in these positions, we got to put all the other ducks in this position too. So, this is in no way, me trying to attack or assassinate this man's character or make him look like less than what he is. I'm just only operating off what he's giving me. So, if it sounds like, you know what I'm saying, Teofimo is getting, really dragged and his father is getting really dragged, it's like, bro, they gave us the ammunition, they gave us the dialogue. All I'm doing is just standing it on his head. What's the likelihood of Loma versus Cambosa? Shit, man. It gets to a point that, man, once again, man, you're just too small, man. You're just too small. I don't know, man. 140 Loma though, like we don't need fat Loma. Like I don't know, but I mean, if Manny, I think, fuck it, man. This is like, everybody can't do what Manny Pacquiao did, but Manny Pacquiao ain't just do that shit by himself either. It's hard to move up all that weight. One Taylor versus Crawford. That's a great fight. Yeah, it is a great fight. But if that fight's gonna happen, it's gonna happen at 147 pounds. I really believe so. But I forgot to say this. Tio ain't getting the M's next fight. Oh no, he's going back to getting he's gonna get probably like a $500,000, and after taxes, he'll probably get cut to a quarter. So that big house that he just built, the cars that he just bought, and all of this talk about how you don't buy jewelry. I hope you really don't invest in jewelry and cars and all of the unnecessary things that you really don't necessarily need in this world. And I hope if you're buying fly shit, I hope that you're leasing it. And if you're getting a house, I hope you ain't buying a mortgage. I hope you're just renting. For real. I ain't tying myself into nothing motherfucking major. Cause for real, all of that shit, even if you buy a fucking home, shit, you don't own that motherfucker, because once you can't pay the land taxes, shit, the bank taking that shit too. So at the end of the day, I hope he's smart with it, because he's definitely gonna take a significant backslide and pay for sure. I don't know. Would I go with I'm a fan of both dogs in my opinion. Yo, Eddie Hearn overpaid him, and then they said Eddie robbed him. Why would he intentionally tear down a champ he can market? Excuses are like assholes. I mean, TOs. That's a fact. Like, I just don't think people really think about the things that they're saying out of their mouth. And then when you really truly take time out to listen to them, like I said, I'm like Leon Muhammad, for as much respect that I got for the dude. It's like, yo, I can't go to bat for you when you're saying fucking just complete and utter bullshit. It's like, dude, you saying that Bob Arum went out his way to fuck him when, Teofimo Lopez took himself from top rank. You saying that, it was the politics of boxing when it was really the politics of the fucking Lopez's. It's just, all of this shit is just crazy to me. It's like, bro, like, motherfucker, get money. People who are driven and they make a certain level of money in life, bro, that shit drives them more than anything. Like, lifestyles, some form of lifestyles really drive people in. Certain people, got ways with money, and they that's what keep him going every day. Eddie Hearn's one of them individuals that loves what he does, and he loves doing it at the highest level. And all of that is surrounded with money. Like Eddie Hearn ain't now. Has Eddie Hearn done dudes favors? Absolutely. Dudes that wasn't really marketable draws that kept them around, kept them getting paid, and having a soft spot for the hardships of a boxing lifestyle. Absolutely. But Eddie Hearn just ain't no type of dude that's throwing away money, man. He getting money. That's why they put so much money on him and just let him make the decisions that he made. Because he's taking, you got to think of what Eddie Hearn has just done in just the past couple of years alone, man. This man is, and he's always on the go. And boxing and promotion is a young man's game too. So he is well informed right now. T.O. might get a TV show because they are more entertaining than the Kardashians. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, he gonna have to find some way to get some dollars for real, because I don't know if this boxing thing is really for you at this point, bro. It's kind of like, dude seemed like he overwhelmed with a lot, and I don't think dude is truly confident in who he is. And I think that, what I'm saying, he's young. He has a little bit of influence. So with girls pulling at you, you young, you married already, you got a broad, you know what I'm saying, your family don't like their family, etc., etc. You're going through it with your girl. You just had a baby with one that you probably, I can't be in your shit to say nothing like that. So no disrespect. But if this is the case, because these are all things we go through as men, like if you're in one of those relationships to where it's tearing you down and you can't flourish in it, that shit could be a major Achilles heel for you. So he dealing with a lot, and I think that he might be a fragile piece right now. He might just need to fall back and get back to what made him love doing what he do, if he even loves doing what he do. Because once again, I think his daddy love this shit more than he do, for real. Because if I'm paying attention to both individuals, it seemed like the son in the beginning, he tried to be a lot more humble than the dad, and he always had to bail his dad out with them knockouts. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just like, the daddy always want to be in front of the camera. It's like, if this was bad boy fucking what is it? Bad boy Death Row 90, 95, 93 to 96 shit, then this motherfucker would be who would it be? Eddie Hearn would be Suge Knight at the goddamn Source Awards, standing next to Devin Haney, talking about, if you don't want your promoter all in your videos, dancing and all your shit, talking over your shit, like, come to the zone, like, for real. Because they on some real P. Diddy shit. What's goody, Mob? Said his dad said they're going to sell out shows after that L. I'm done. Bro, his daddy told him that now they can't be considered better than Floyd Mayweather. So basically what his daddy was saying to me, what I took from that was, you feel on some level that your son is a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather was. Fuck no. Fuck no. That shit be tripping me out how niggas act like Floyd wasn't that deal, man. Like, I don't care how much you dislike a dude. I was never the biggest Manny Pacquiao fan, but I'll never be the type of nigga to say Manny Pacquiao was a sucker for a fighter. I could never do that. But niggas act like Floyd was just this pussy cat and all he did was pick and choose, man. Y'all motherfuckers might want to go back and watch again. Y'all might, man, who got more? I ain't going there. I beat that boy. Everybody knows I want BK stand up. Like, like that whole like I beat him shit. Like, he don't understand. Like, Teofimo Lopez is officially a meme right now, bruh. He's officially a meme of epic proportions, and people just gonna be passing him around like a blunt on 420, laughing at his ass. He's a straight blunt on 420 being passed around, and the whole world is laughing at his meme ass. Dog, that's like that. Everybody's saying that. I've been hearing that for like since Sunday that this nigga's Broner 2.0 out this joint. Like, bro, if he Broner 2.0, then this motherfucking daddy. God damn, who the fuck is his daddy, man? Who is this dude, daddy? Like, them niggas sharing incompetence, man. But it's just like, yo, when one person, it's like they try to outshine each other in incompetence. That's what it seems like to me. That nigga was faded. He was trying to catch his breath. Man, look, nigga was getting his ass whooped in that joint. Like, yo, hey, fatigue makes a coward out the strongest of men, man. That's one of the most truest statements I ever heard in any combat sport. Fatigue makes the coward out of the strongest of men. And that's true. Cause once that fatigue set in, motherfucker try to lift your hand up and throw that shot. You out there, you just trying to play keep away. You faking and shit. You just throwing feints and shit, just trying to move and stay lateral and shit. Doing all that pump faking. Yeah, man, like that's what I'm saying. It's like I ain't never been, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody not a big fan of a certain somebody who has a a very profound status in the boxing world. And with that being so, respect to everybody's, respect to all the greats, all the greats. But at the end of the day, man, like where was this dude's head at? At some point, he had to already believe that he was better than Floyd. So that means he believed he better than Manny too. That means he believed who like, oh my God, dog. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. His daddy said, you hear the crowd boo because the bullshit decision. I said, man, dude, man. Like I said, man, Ray Charles can even see that, you know what I'm saying, that boy beat his ass, man. The worst part is you got dropped by a dude who's not a puncher. You got outboxed. He cut you up. And then on top of that, I just recently heard that you're going to need a surgery that completely supersedes just a regular stitching. So you're probably dealing with a certain level of damage that's going to follow your career due to the fact that it's over the brow consistently. That's one of the major areas for headbutts on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? Usually when you're in the pocket in the phone booth, when skulls are constantly rubbing and things of that, when somebody's might be a little bit dirtier than the other, or exercising tactics that, necessarily a cleaner fighter wouldn't use. He's always going to be in a position, you know what I'm saying, for somebody to bust that pussy wide open. He's always going to be in a position for somebody to bust that pussy wide open. Oh my God. Like, that's a fact. Like, how do you do that? Like, who tries to out stupid? Who tries to out stupid another motherfucker? It's like, yo, I'ma out stupid you today. Let's see how you can top this shit. It's like, nah, I knew, man. Look, man, it's the politics of boxing. I already knew what it was. We had all of the belts. They trying to stop us. My son's still the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? We beat them 10-2. Now, if you want to give them another round, I'm okay with that. But now I can't even say that my son's better than Floyd. I mean, come on. Come on. You didn't hear the crowd? You didn't hear the crowd? Even everybody knows we beat that boy 10-2. But I should have stayed over at Top Rank where they love us. I should have stayed over at Top Rank and Bob where they love us. Motherfucker, you wanted to leave, Bob. Y'all chose to leave Top Rank. Little boy got on these big britches. Now he's putting on his little boots, and now he's ready to go off into the world and make a name of himself. Like, get the fuck out of here. You did that shit to yourself. Putting on your big boy pants. Oh, you ready to move. You got on your big boy pants. Like, get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. You left out that joint skipping down the street with a carnival lollipop in your pocket, some motherfucking pink tube socks, my nigga, and a goddamn cheerleading skirt and some pom-poms, my nigga. Fuck are you talking about? Papa Lopez reminded me of how Tunde Anthony Yards trainer. Oh man, talking over and chatting shit. At least Yard has the mind to tell his trainer to shut the fuck up. Absolutely, man. Like I even said that. I believe I said that on Super Nipple Sunday. I said, yo, we're at the point to where Tunde Ajayi can completely unblock everybody. When it comes to that empty the tank shit, and because at least Anthony Yard had Kovalev in a compromising position where he truly could drop him. He just was very green in that situation. The difference between Yard and Teofimo was Yard wasn't a world champion. I believe like the best fight, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the best fight that Anthony Yard had in his career at the time, well, who was it? Was it Travis Kaufman or some shit? Was it Travis Kaufman? So it's like going from like guys like a Travis Kaufman to go to like a Sergey Kovalev. I mean, and for you to go from like a Vasily Lomachenko to a George Kambosos, no disrespect, but I mean, let's just call a spade here. And you to do significantly worse. And oh man. So I guess triangle theories in some way, they kind of mean something, because if we look at the outcome of the first bout with you and Lomachenko, barring the second half of the fight, how he was belting the shit out of your ass, and we look at how you struggle with Masaroshi Nagatani, and we look at how you dismantled Nagatani. We look at how, you fight Kambosos, and I swear, I think if I put Lomachenko in that same position, I don't think it would be, there wouldn't even be, the things that you were doing, those are things that I wouldn't even have to worry about Lomachenko doing. So it shows another level of your immaturity, your lack of poise, consistent telegraphing of your punches. And I just think that Lomachenko, if I was Lomachenko's trainer, I would never have to even worry about saying two words about him even getting complacent and doing some of the things that you were doing if he was in that position. So it's just levels, man. Just levels. And you went out of your way, dude, and you played yourself. And now it's just like, bro, you just like honestly, man, this shit should be considered as, other than the fact that they are nowhere near as known, the fact that they're not as known on a popular scale, where like they're like Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. Like these motherfuckers in Tokyo, there's no fucking computers, no nothing like that, no internet, I should say. And these motherfuckers got millions of motherfuckers who know where he is anywhere he drops on any corner of the world. Teofimo doesn't even have that type of notoriety, but I still feel like in some ways that upset is just as is right up there with, what I'm saying, with the other ones, with the Anthony Joshua's, Andy Ruiz's, with the Buster Douglas, with the Tysons, with like with all that shit. I feel like Teofimo versus Kambosos sits right up in that same atmosphere. But it all falls in the fact that when you don't know, when you've completely given up on learning, then you should give up on boxing, because boxing is an ever evolving craft. Boxing never stops downloading new data. Boxers never stop learning new movements. Boxers never stop taking in new information to make, to broaden, they tool shed. And you, for one, look like you caught the apex predator. You caught your 8-pointer, and you stuck his mantle on your wall, walked away from it like, whew, I got out of that shit by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And now it's just kind of like, I'm gonna run around in the world and flex like, I just beat Lomachenko. So how the fuck is anybody even going to be in a position, especially at George Kambosos, to outbox me? And hype kills, bro. Hype kills. And apparently, the hype definitely killed you. And not only, I wouldn't even say that hype killed him. I'd say that the delusions, the poor sportsmanship, the whole hood know I beat that boy. The sound bites from Saturday to Sunday, like and the sound bites prior to the fight, all of this shit, man, is completely going to hinder his progress going forward. So It sucks. Never argue with stupid people. They drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Damn, that's a fact. Shout out to Mark Twain. Says them niggas still saying they about to fight next on pay-per-view. And then fight Taylor by the summer like they won that fight. Shake my head, seeing you smoking that crack pack. Smoking that pack with the scorpion print. Oh shit. They on that food. Nigga, you gotta do something with the clip when he came on your show talking shit, blood. Already did. Already did. I did something with that shit twice. I just did something with it like a month ago. Like a month ago. It's called it's on my page. It's called The Usual Liars. I dragged his ass. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I fucked him up. But now I don't even have to use that. Like, I understand what my material is and I love it for that fact. Like, bro, I feel like I make some of the dopest edited content when I do edit. I feel like I make some of the dopest edited content and it constantly gets overlooked by, and other people who can't even do half the shit I do and don't have half of the personality that I got. These motherfuckers getting wild, crazy views for some real lackluster shit, for some shit where they really just throw up a fucking picture and they just put one fucking vocal bar in that shit, do no fucking chopping the fucking layers, probably got one layer chopped through the whole fucking edit, and motherfuckers is just eating that shit up. And then they don't even really know shit about goddamn boxing. We'll put out a 15 fucking minute video with goddamn one picture ranting, and then the whole world pays attention to it, and then it's just lacking substance in so many different layers. Now, I just look at my shit like this. For the ones that do catch it and it transcends, oh, y'all motherfuckers, I'm glad y'all privy to it and seeing what's really going on. For the ones that don't catch it, when you go back, you're going to appreciate it that much more. And then when I make some new shit, you ain't going to fucking miss it. Because ones who didn't know what I was doing, and then they ended up making their way to my corner, the YouTube boxing universe, and they see what I got going on. They're like, oh yeah, this shit different over here. This shit different. So when they go back and they look and they see that they missed that shit, it's always a bunch of, oh, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? We on to the next one. I got so much footage. Like I said, I got 4 edits open right now that I'm working on simultaneously. It's got Teofimo, Senior, the fight situations, the whole 9. And when they see this shit, yo, it's gonna be a masterpiece. Like, cause there's only a few people that are even gonna be able to deliver it in a way in which I'm gonna deliver it. And I'm gonna deliver that shit. I'm gonna deliver it. These are the ones that, this is the type of shit that I be waiting for. Because I wait for a person to slip up and be so stupid where they give me so much material to where I can literally, just make movies out the shit and really make a real story out the shit instead of like some 5-minute shit that don't really lack no entertainment nor substance. So I've got so much material right now, Mob, to where like this week is going to be crazy. Like the drops towards the end of the week are going to be nuts. That is the reason why he hasn't come back on the show and he avoids certain guys at all costs. Oh yeah, he'll never come back here. He'll never come back here because I've been calling him out on this shit when nobody else would do it. Like all of them boys, you see the ones who align with him so they could get in certain places with him. I never did that with nobody. And that's why I tell motherfuckers, like, that's why I respect niggas like Julius so much. Julius, grinded, got his point, put his editing game down, put his boxing knowledge game down to the point to where Ring IQ got in the positions to where they can't deny the content. So they got to come, so they got to come see him. They going to do the interviews with him. And I respect this grind for that, but he ain't never going to sell out for no promo or nothing like that, or fall a slave or a victim to whatever one boxer's agenda is. And that's why I fuck with dude, because that's the way I move. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to say what the fuck is on my mind. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say about this fighter. I don't give a fuck about your press pass. I don't give a fuck about who the fuck you think I want to shake hands with. Motherfucker, I give a fuck about the truth. And when it's real, when it starts to translate, they can't deny it anyway. They're gonna have to come see me. And I'm just gonna have the most controversial topics. I'm just gonna have the most controversial topics because I'm not really pressed to be anybody's friend. I got enough friends in my life. I'm here to get to the bottom of the bullshit. And when motherfuckers check that shit out and they see that shit don't add up, like really look around the boxing world and the ones who those dudes really frequent and stuff like that, look at the positions they in and look at how they used to talk and look at how they talk now. They don't do y'all no service. Now y'all might get some interviews and y'all might get some hand holding shit and y'all might get to see them motherfuckers with them, but y'all ain't getting no resolve for real. Y'all ain't getting no hard hitting questions. Y'all getting a whole bunch of friend shit. Like fuck a friend. I might do some shit like that for real. That'd probably be pretty dope. Yeah, I should do some shit like that eventually. I'm eventually getting a little shit like that, but it's like editing is super time consuming and little shit like that. Believe it or not, like keynote and little stuff like that, and then having the head move in motion with the body and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is point per point down to the tenth of a second. So all of those things are like it takes a lot of time to get that shit in. Even the sound bars, even the sound bites, that's a lot of time because those are multi-layer functioning. Every time that shit, you can see me saying something and then it switches over to 80 million different things. Those are small, intricate cuts inside of cuts, and layers inside of layers. Shit just, it comes out to it becomes a lot of shit. And you'll be surprised. I can move one bit of information and if I don't lock it so it slides with the whole edit, I will literally fucking fuck up the whole fucking timeline of what the fuck I just did. So editing is dope when it comes out. It's rewarding, I guess, but it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, man, I need to wrap up, man. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. I pretty much covered what I needed to cover on Leon. All the extra shit is just bonus shit, kicking it with the bros. Shout out to any of the queens if they in here. Hope everybody have a great day. Y'all know as we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. And I want everybody to understand, like, yo, don't fall in these traps with these channels to try to create these fucking narratives for sore losers, man. Regardless of whether it's OG Leon Muhammad or not. You know what I'm saying? And I respect Shoot the Five. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for standing on your square in that situation. But I just wish you would have said the things like, yo, Bob put up money for a purse bid. Teofimo chose to go out on a purse bid and all of those things. So Teofimo fucked himself on the politics. I understand the politics of boxing are screwy at times. I truly get that. But at the end of the day, the only person that has to blame for the situation that they're in is Teofimo Lopez Jr. and Teofimo Lopez Sr. And shout out to the whole hood. The whole hood for really knowing that Teofimo didn't beat that boy. It's the motherfucking boss. Respect.